Bronson Taylor was in motion. Daniels out of the pocket. He's going to run for it and get it and then some. Daniels down the sideline. Finally wrestled out of bounds inside the 10-yard line.
Hello and welcome to Tigers Roar. I am Jonathan Poche, joined by the Budman, Buddy Sanji. We're here at Old School Barbecue. You're watching Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV. Certainly happy to have you there. Talking some LSU football. It was the last regular season game this past weekend. Jaden Daniels' last audition for the Heisman voters, if you will. And LSU comes out with the victory against Texas A&M, 42-30. They fell behind early in the game, but you saw in the intro, Jaden Daniels, 4th and 4, rallies for a long 50-yard plus run, set up a score for LSU. They would take the lead and never look back. Defense made adjustments in the second half, so we got to give credit to Matt House. He takes a lot of criticism when the defense does poorly. But man, they did make 0 for 5 for the Texas A&M Aggies for the last 5 third downs. So definitely some adjustments were made. Harold Perkins played a better role this time, Budman, with that spy. Defense had a couple stops, and Jaden Daniels, too many offensive weapons. 4 touchdown passes. That gives him 50 on the year. Only 4 interceptions. An outstanding season by Jaden Daniels. We welcome in the Budman. Budman, did Jaden Daniels do enough to secure the Heisman for LSU?
No, I've been trying to tell people you don't win the Heisman in Week 10, Week 11, Week 12. There's one more conference championship. I shook my head because the real estate market in Baton Rouge continues to go up. $2 million don't get you a very good house. And I'm sorry, I'm not giving Matt House credit.
Come on.
Brian Kelly said in the press conference afterwards, they made adjustments, and it's something they hadn't done all year.
Yep.
Sorry. I think Brian Kelly's got a PR problem and many questions to answer on the defense. Look, bottom line is that everybody in Baton Rouge knows Jaden Daniels is the best player in the country. But it's not that simple. He's not playing on Saturday. The conferences and the networks, they're pushing Bo Nix. Bo Nix isn't a pimple on Jaden Daniels' rear end this year. He dinks and dunks. And yet Jaden Daniels has 90 plays of 20 yards or more. Yep. That's more than any team, right. JP.
Right.
So I'm a little spicy because I ate too much turkey. And if you get on the scale, folks, and you're 3 pounds heavy, go with this mantra. I'd rather be heavy and healthy than skinny and sick. So I guess we're all a little turkeyed out. Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors should do what Burrow and Chase did. Yep. Unfortunately, I'm not yet ready to say it's going to happen. I think he deserves it, but it's one more weekend. Now, Penix in Washington beats Oregon. That helps Jaden Daniels' cause. Yep. But a lot of people, they have jealousy towards the SEC, always winning. And, oh, by the way, if you think Alabama deserves to be in the Final Four, my goodness, we always knew that Nick Saban had a close relationship with God, but they've got a new NIL sponsor at Alabama. It is an Alabama Crimson Tide Red horseshoe because they pulled one out of their butt. Don't ever, if you're a defensive coordinator, rush 2 men with a spy on 4th and 31. You and I can coach better, so I'm not giving too many extra servings of turkey to the defensive coordinators, Ron Roberts at Auburn, and, of course, Matt House. You got to do better or you're going to have to hit the road.
We do have some highlights from this past Saturday, LSU versus Texas A&M. We'll let Truck to go ahead and roll those highlights, and we'll continue this conversation right here on Tigers Roar. Budman, Jaden Daniels ends with 50 touchdown passes, 50 touchdowns, 40 through the air, 10 on the ground. And picking up right where he left off right here to what I assume will be the Blitnikoff winner, Malik Neighbors, the best receiver in college football right here to get things going for the Tigers.
Well, you assume that. Marvin Harrison Jr. has more national street cred than Malik Neighbors. We'll see how it comes out. Once again, here's JD doing what he does better than anybody in the country, scrambling for a big first down.
This year had 10 rushing touchdowns and 85-yard long, 1,134 yards on the season, Budman. Almost got to the 5,000 total yards, just short. But here you see Logan Diggs punching in for the score, open up the scoring for the LSU Tigers.
Not sure what Logan Diggs and Frank Wilson's relationship is. He's missed some games, didn't play in the opener. Hope he comes back, probably going to go pro.
LSU's defense scoring to the football right here. Ovi Ogofu with one of his 2 sacks. I think he played outstanding this past Saturday.
Definitely his best game as a Tiger. He did have 2 sacks, but unfortunately, as we know, here's Le'Veon Bell, a kid from Mastruma that ended up going to Texas A&M. Easy walk-in for the touchdown.
Yeah, Le'Veon Moss, he had a pretty good game against the Tigers.
Moss, yeah.
Defense did rally, Budman. Andre Sam had 12 total tackles. He led the Tigers. Harold Perkins did have 6 solo, 9 total. Had a half a sack, 1.5 tackles for loss, and the quarterback hurry. He had a pretty good game.
Once again, Jaden Daniels scampering, and folks, he takes a lot of punishment as well. In fact, even after the play on the sideline, got a 15-yard penalty, and at least the O-linemen are going to protect him.
Yeah,
now.
Exactly. It's good to see the offensive line rally around Jaden Daniels. If not protect 5, who are you going to protect? So LSU back on offense. See the number 3 right there on the field. Shout out to Greg Books. Hope he's doing well with his battles. Malik Neighbors, great catch, run after the catch right there. Got another first down for the Tigers, and they're moving, Bud, man, going to score.
He got so much out of that play right there, and of course, once again, down in the red zone, you got to score touchdowns, and as we know, here's an easy one.
Yeah, doesn't get much easier than that one right there, the number 8. He did have 2 scores on the day. His number 6 receptions, 122 yards and 2 touchdowns. A great day for number 8. Just missed out on the all-time leading reception yards for LSU Tigers.
Max Johnson, who's in the transfer portal, his brother Jake Johnson, a little flip out the backfield and slide out of the tight end spot into the end zone. Major Burns carried the last 3 yards.
Yeah, Major Burns had a rough outing on Saturday. Couple plays you'll see later a little bit on in this highlights. Got lost on some coverages, slipped on one long pass that really should have been a sack, but quarterback did a good job escaping. He just hit a touchdown for Texas A&M to go back on top the Tigers. And Bubman, 10-point lead right here for A&M. And 4th and 4, Brian Kelly had no hesitation. He wanted his team to go for it. Jaden Daniels tucks it, and this is the intro because crucial play in this game, Budman.
That's his Heisman moment if there's ever one. You wish he would have gotten in the end zone, but kudos to Coach Kelly for going for it on 4th down.
Yeah, no hesitation. Believed in his offense. Josh Williams right here gets the score. Kudos to 2-7. He had a pretty quiet day outside of that touchdown, Budman.
Yeah, I still want to see a little bit more of Caleb Jackson from scrimmage, but as we know, here's another sack, and that one, of course, was by Harold Perkins.
Harold Perkins did play the spy most of the second half, though. Did a great job running the quarterback down out of the pocket. Here's an interception from Greg Penn, one of 2 turnovers for the Tigers in the day.
No doubt about it. 30 comes up with a big one. Brian Kelly called it one of the most important plays of the game. It certainly was. And, of course, just like the NFL players, once you get an INT, you run to the end zone.
Yeah, you can go take a picture in the end zone, sets up the offense around midfield, and Jaden Daniels goes to work. Here he finds Malik Neighbors. That's Chris Hilton, his catch on the day. Thought 17 would have a bigger year. Great speed. Hopefully they utilize him more next season.
Chris Hilton probably a little frustrated. You hope that he sticks around and is a big part of the receiving corps. You know he's got to be frustrated this year.
You see Brian Thomas Jr. head top for a touchdown. Great catch. Even better throw by Jaden Daniels to the back corner of the end zone.
Unbelievable the way BTJ, Brian Thomas Jr. and Malik Neighbors made great catches in the end zone. Hey, look, it's been an incredible trio, those 3.
Yep. You throw in Kyron Lacey, and you'll see a touchdown catch from Malik Neighbors. He gets 1 foot to the near side end zone. Later on in the game, Kyron Lacey makes the exact same catch for a touchdown. Shout out Cortez Hankton, having these interchangeable receivers that all do a fantastic job around the end zone for Jaden Daniels.
Another sack for LSU against A&M, and once again, here we go. These receivers are not easy to get down, JP.
Yeah, yard after catch, a huge part of their game. Malik Neighbors, certainly one of the toughest receivers to bring down after the catch. Here's what I'm talking about. Great 1 foot in the end zone. You'll see an exact same catch from Kyron Lacey later on in this game, so you got to give a shout out to the receivers with that body control.
And once again, they did kick it up a little a notch or 2, but here you go. This is typical LSU defense this year as you get drug in, and Omar Spates has had a rough year. He's had a lot of tackles, but he's certainly missed a lot as well.
Yep, certainly true. Here's offense back on the field. Jaden Daniels over the middle, finds Malik Neighbors again. Had crossing routes all day with Malik Neighbors, and this is the play that Kyron Lacey got called for the hold. This would have given Malik Neighbors the all-time leading reception yards. Kyron Lacey visibly upset that he took that away from his brother. And here's another great catch right there. That was what I was talking about. Malik Neighbors made the exact same catch in the same spot of the end zone. Great throw, great couple catches right there by wide receivers.
By the way, we've got to mention it. The SEC, once again, a major error with targeting. They keep making mistakes with this targeting. Sage Ryan, bless his heart, he finally hit somebody hard enough to knock him 5 yards back. Of course, it was the shoulder. But, JP, this is 3 games in a row.
Yep.
They shouldn't have thrown out Sam. Tried to throw out, Sage Ryan, and that didn't work. And then, as we know, did not call it on Dallas Turner in the Alabama game. So I'm sure Kelly will send a targeting message over to the SEC after the season.
Yeah, 42-30 was the final score from this past Saturday. LSU moves to 9-3 in the season, has a chance to get that 10th win after the bowl game. It's bowl season around here. We just got to get through the conference championships. Then LSU will find out who they're playing, when they're playing, and then some guys will have some decisions to make. But, man, who's going to participate in the bowl game and who isn't? Later on in this program on Tigers Roar, we'll let you guys hear from the post-game press conference of head coach Brian Kelly, also the Heisman hopeful and Jaden Daniels. We'll also have a very special piece that just premiered last night from LSU football on YouTube. That kid, Jaden, an outstanding look at Jaden Daniels' time at Louisiana. We'll let you guys see part 1 right here on Tigers Roar. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Pelican Sports TV.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Right now, during the season of inspiration at Team Mazda, get 1.9% financing for 60 months on a new Mazda CX-5, or get 0.9% financing on the all-new 24 Mazda CX-90. Save thousands on over 150 new Mazdas now on sale at Team Mazda.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
Up to the skies, I see
And we continue here on Tigers Roar. Jonathan Poche and the Budman Buddy Sanji here at Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Quick reminder to check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. If you missed the first segment of this show or any Tigers Roars in the past, go check out our YouTube page. They're all archived right there for your viewing pleasure. While you're at the page, click the like, subscribe, and notification button so you're notified every time we drop something new on the Pelican YouTube. Once again, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. We're talking LSU football now at 9-3, a chance for a 10-win season. Coach Brian Kelly says the 10-win season is a landmark of consistency, and you have to be consistent to be mentioned in the same breath as the Georgias and Alabamas in the SEC. So, Budman, is a 10-win season after the bowl game a success considering how much talent was truly on this team?
Well, it's crazy because 9-3 is exactly what they did in the regular season from last year, but they beat Ole Miss and Alabama last year, and they lost to Ole Miss and Alabama this year.
Right.
Now, the wins over Alabama and Ole Miss last year were top 10 wins, 6 and 7, respectively. I think there's a lot of scuttlebutt about LSU maybe wanting to play or not wanting to play Notre Dame. Look, I don't want to be the Debbie Downer. I'd love to see J.D. Win the Heisman. JP and I were discussing whether or not he's going to win it. He thinks he's going to win it. I think a lot of it is contingent on what Bo Nix does on Friday night. That game is Friday night against Washington. The Ducks, by the way, are an 8.5, 9-point favorite in that game. But look, I think most people are happy if you get to 10, but you got to fix the defense. That defense, I told you folks, Sargento, you could see a sign in Tiger Stadium next year, Sargento with the best
Swiss
cheese, and Sharman in the north and south end zones with the softest toilet paper.
Yep.
They had Swiss cheese. They were soft. They finally got challenged by Florida and wanted to fight a little bit.
Right.
By the way, you ever notice how Perkins and Major Burns and all those guys are always pushing the 7 and talking afterwards? But got to fix the defense. Got to get some big uglies. And JP, got to get more physicality than finesse on defense in a long season. Don't forget, folks, no divisions next year. 12 in the CFP. Texas and OU coming in. And that CFP show tonight is at 6. LSU men's basketball tonight at 6 at Syracuse.
Yep.
And a lot going on. The women host Virginia Tech on Thursday night. But all in all, I think the fans are relatively happy if Brian Kelly pushes the right button, gets some defensive recruits in here, and gets some better defensive coaches.
Well, Jaden Daniels went 16 of 24, 235 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's through the air. Also had 11 rushes for 120 yards. We'll let you guys hear from the quarterback. Here is Jaden Daniels, his post-game press conference after the Texas A&M game where his team put up 42 points. Here is quarterback Jaden Daniels.
A lot of emotions post-game for you and a lot of other guys. I know it's still pretty raw, but can you kind of reflect on what your time here has been like and playing in front of these fans and kind of wearing the purple and gold?
It's meant a lot to me. Be able to come here and last year and really, believe in myself and trusting the unknown. I didn't know what I was going to get myself into. And now just go through it in my last game here. I really haven't really sat down, really embraced what I went through, but, I was just trying to enjoy every little moment.
Hey, Jaden. You've been in college 5 years, been a starter for 5 years, 2 different schools, now potential Heisman campaign. What are you going to remember about your college career?
Just everything I've been through in my college career. The people I met, the relationships I built on and off the field. That's what means the most to me.
Talk about today a little bit. How did you approach this? Everybody expects something of you now, right? So to kind of struggle early in the game and to figure it out late, how did you approach it going in, and when did you feel like it started to come around for you?
Texas A&M is a very talented team. Obviously, their record doesn't show for it, but, they have good players over there too. So for us, it was like, just staying the course. Obviously, we're going to have ups and downs. We're going to have adversity. And for us, just to stay the course and really just go out there and see it start clicking. I would just say, that last drive when Brian, mossed the dude, I would say that's kind of where it all clicked for us coming out of halftime.
Hey, Jaden, your touchdown passes in the second half seemed like a combination of great pass and great hands by your guys, your wide receivers. What about the confidence you have when you throw it up to them and that they're going to come down with it?
I mean, my confidence is out the roof with them. It's just something that we worked on, the whole offseason, just building that trust with each other. And, for all three of them to score in the last regular season home game, it means a lot for me.
Hey, Jaden, right here. The fourth down play where you guys were at 4th and 4, and I think you scrambled for like 50 yards. Just what did you see on that play, and you just kind of break it down for us?
Their corners did a good job, squatting on some of the routes that we throw a lot. Obviously, they seen on film, and I came back, tried to see if I could hit Brian on the slant. The DB's playing good leverage, so I kind of just seen an opening, it was a must-have for us. Obviously, that changed the momentum, shifted it. So when the play had to be made, I was stepped up to the plate.
Jaden, you said last game. Was this it, or did you still have a decision to make about the bowl?
I got to make some decisions. Obviously, I'm going to go sit down, talk to my family, kind of just embrace this moment of, my last regular season game. We'll just go from there.
You talked about it last regular season game. You don't like to talk a lot about the Heisman and individual stuff, but do you feel like you've made your case? Because there's no more regular season games for you. You feel like you've made your case?
Most definitely, I do. Obviously, we got to see what the other guys do, but I think I'm going to make my case to get invited up there.
Jaden, you talked about getting all your key receivers in the end zone today. I saw a huge moment with Lacey when he caught his touchdown. He seemed pretty emotional, and not only you but Coach Kelly, and a bunch of other guys embraced him. Was there a specific reason as to why he was emotional in that moment exactly?
The first play of the drive, we obviously knew Malik was like 60-something yards away from being the all-time leading receiving yards here. And obviously, him getting that penalty neglected that, and it broke his heart because that's his brother, and that's something that we worked so hard for. So for him being emotional, him coming in and scoring the closing touchdown, it meant a lot for me. It meant a lot for all of us, just to pick our brother up, and when the play needed to be made, he made the play.
Good time for two more, Kyle.
Yeah, I'm just curious, how much pride do you take in kind of lifting or elevating the play of the people around you? Obviously, you talked about your three receivers, but Matt getting a touchdown last week. Just everything kind of seems to be better when you're rolling.
Yeah, I set a standard for myself, and I expect other guys to meet the standard. They met it all year long, and I'm just happy to go out there and play with those guys.
Jaden, any thoughts about when you go to the next level, you may not throw to receivers as good as these guys?
Hopefully I do. Obviously, they got some talented people in the league, but that's kind of out of my control where I go and when I go. So, I'm just gonna enjoy this moment here, and when the draft comes, that's something we'll figure out.
And that was quarterback Jaden Daniels talking about his performance this past Saturday on Senior Day for the LSU Tigers. His team took home the victory 42-30 against Texas A&M Aggies. Coach Brian Kelly said this is one of the best defenses they played all season, if not the best defense. Coach Brian Kelly called them a top 10 nationally defense. But, man, they were able to contain Jaden a little bit in the beginning of the game. But, of course, you can't keep him down forever. Too fast, too good of receivers on the outside. Was able to get it done. Puts up 42 points in this final audition for the Heisman, but, man, we know the conference championships is still coming up this weekend, so another audition for guys like Bo Nix and Michael Penix. But in my opinion, Jaden Daniels has done enough. It was his award to lose, and he did enough to win the game, and threw for four touchdowns, had 120 on the ground. What more could you want from number 5?
Well, it was his award to lose for the people in the SEC and here, but everybody else promotes their own guy.
Sure.
And you're going to have Penix and Nix get a bunch of votes, all the votes out in the West and the Northwest. I actually saw some odds the other day. Jalen Milroe has creeped up into the top 5. Yeah, Alabama quarterback.
I know you saw him screaming after the Iron Bowl about give me that Heisman.
And embarrassing that Paul, everybody knows who Paul is, a guy that broadcasts with knee pads, Nick on left knee and Saban on the right knee, talking about Alabama deserves to be in the CFP Final Four if they beat Georgia. Give me a break. Get off the the crazy boos, that is crazy talk. But look, Jaden Daniels has done everything like you alluded to. Folks, we're never going to see an LSU quarterback run that fast. Not in my lifetime. Now, we said we'd never see 60 touchdown passes, and people tried to compare this year with 19. The problem I have, as you know, is that LSU went on and won the SEC championship in 19.
Yep.
Then they beat and slaughtered everybody in front of them. They played the 1, 2, and 3 seeds, which is,
Right.
as we know, I don't need to remind you, the first SEC team to ever go 15-0. Burrow, Heisman, Chase, Biletnikoff. I think the 3 losses has something to do with it. I think the fact that there is SEC jealousy because they're always winning something.
Yeah.
Georgia's got a chance to three-peat. And now we get to the $64 million question in the room. Is JD going to play in the bowl game? And I know a lot of people will find out very quickly, folks. Here's the skinny. Heisman ballots went out yesterday, okay? They will send those ballots in. And we know that Nick's is Friday night. Penix is Friday night. Did Milrose, I missed that. Milrose really said, give me the Heisman?
He was screaming, give me that MF now. After he threw that Hail Mary at the very end.
Oh,
against an
my
Auburn
goodness.
team. Yeah.
Well, if you think that Jalen Milroe deserves a Heisman, you didn't watch them play Arkansas. They should have lost that game to Auburn. There's a lot of times they have looked mediocre at best. But I guess what we're trying to get here, folks, is that regardless if he wins the Heisman or not, what do you think his family and his advisors tell him about the bowl game?
Well, taking the hat of the fan off. A business decision for Jaden Daniels. He has nothing else to prove. Nothing else he can put on the table to raise his draft stock. He is already shown what he can do. You're playing a non-conference opponent in a game that you're trying to get 10 wins, so it does matter to your program, but really there's nothing else to gain from it. If I'm the manager, a family member, yeah, you got to sit it out. And look, it's tough for LSU fans. That was the last time you're getting to see Jaden Daniels in the purple and gold was this past weekend, but the kid's got to take care of himself. A huge future ahead of him. He's going to set up generational wealth for his kids and his kids' kids. It's bigger than him. He's got to look out for him, his family, and the best decision for him, I think, is to just sit it out and get ready for that combine.
Well, and I was told that probably was going to be the decision going into the last game. He's done everything that he can do. I think everybody's appreciative. How about the 2-year transfers of Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels? It is unbelievable what those 2 young men did in their second years. But I agree with you. Tiger fans, look, if you play in Notre Dame, you certainly want to have JD as your quarterback. But on the other hand, looks like they're probably going to end up in Tampa on
you knew it was going to be somewhere
January
in Florida.
1. But you don't know who the opponent is at this point. Nussmeier would be your guy, but if Jaden Daniels does sit out the bowl game, then you've only got 2 scholarship quarterbacks. Ricky Collins has got to come in and be the backup in case Nuss gets dinged up. Great question by our buddy Ed Daniels about the talent of wide receivers that he'll have at his pro team. Man, Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr., I can't see how they're going to get out of the first round. Malik Neighbors has got to be a top 10 pick now. Where do you think Jaden Daniels goes?
Hopefully to New Orleans, to be honest. Now, hey, we'll see what happens with the Saints. We'll get into that a little bit later. But they're in desperate need of a quarterback. There's a lot of teams.
What spot would they draft at, you think?
Right now they're in the high teens, I would assume. There's plenty of time for them to get a higher draft pick because they're going to keep losing games. We'll talk about the Saints a little on in this program, but they're in a rough spot. Jaden Daniels does not fall beyond 15, in my opinion.
I agree. That's what I was going to say. He's going to go in the top 12 to 15. And Brian Thomas Jr., from what I'm hearing now, he was kind of an unknown going into this year. I think he's going to be mid to late first round. Great question. He said 23, 7.
32, Philadelphia. Oh, I like that. 32 at Philadelphia.
32 at Philadelphia. What an incredible comeback Hurts and Philly had over Josh Allen and Buffalo. So a lot of football. If you like me, it was family, it was food, it was football, and we hope all of you had a great Thanksgiving weekend. But Man, I'm embarrassed to say how many hours of football I watched since Thursday.
We'll take another quick break here on Tigers Roar. We'll come back and let you guys hear from the head coach, Brian Kelly, his post-game press conference with the Texas A&M Aggies. That and a whole lot more right here on Tigers Roar. You're watching Pelican Sports TV.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Celebrate this holiday season with the gift of a new Honda during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda. And now you can make no payments for 90 days on our biggest selection of Hondas this year, making this the happiest time of the year. Come save now at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements, and that's where Lee Serio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Lee Serio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Lee Serio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
The winning play is the Buy Here, Sell Here event at the Team Automotive Group. Buy here and save on hundreds of certified and pre-owned vehicles. Or sell here and we'll pay you top value. Buy here or sell here and you'll be the winner at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Welcome back to Tigers Roar. Jonathan Poche and the Bud Man, Buddy Sanji here at Old School Barbecue. Don't forget, check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. All the Tigers Roars and everything we do at the Pelican is archived right there for your viewing pleasure. So you see it on the screen. Go to youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Bud Man, the regular season finale this past weekend. This is Coach Brian Kelly's second year at LSU. This year they go undefeated at home, 7-0. It was a talking point for Coach. He wanted to make a goal to play well at home, and they did. 7 wins at home. Had the 3 losses, but they did lose to teams that they were supposed to lose to. Talented teams. Ole Miss, Alabama, 2 of the top offenses, or Ole Miss offense, Alabama defense in the league. And do you think that Coach Brian Kelly has his finger on the pulse, is doing what needs to be done to get this program into the upper echelons, to be mentioned with a Georgia and Alabama? Are they on the right track, or do they have some things to work on?
I think they're on the right track. By the way, look, everybody, this is a great thing about sports. You can disagree and not get crazy. I'm not going to necessarily say that LSU was expected to lose to Ole Miss. I think that was a game that was very close with the point spread. And quite frankly, I grew up in the days when go to hell Ole Miss meant something. And so it's not the rivalry it used to be, but you would want to think that LSU and Brian Kelly are headed in the right direction more so than Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss.
Yeah.
But this conference got appreciably tougher over the weekend.
Yeah.
Jeff Lebby is a really, really good offensive coordinator, and he's now the head coach at Mississippi State. Going to bring back a lot of what Mike Leach wanted to do on offense.
Yep.
Mike Elko, a really good defensive coach and defensive coordinator at A&M for 4 years with Jimbo. Been a Duke head coach.
Outstanding
He comes
job,
over to A&M. This league got appreciably tougher overnight with better coaches in the West. To answer your question, I do think he needs another year, but he better hit a home run, JP, with the defense. You know they got to get DBU back. You know that they've got to get more physical at the point of attack. Offensive line, offense, great. Guess what? You're losing. Do you think Karen Lacey comes back? And I guess the question we didn't get to, does Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. play in the bowl game?
I think, to answer your first question, Karen Lacey does come back next year, is the number one receiver on the team, sets the standard for the rest of the guys. You answer your question about Neighbors and Thomas. I as an LSU, a guy who likes to watch outstanding offense, and LSU has an elite offense, I want them to play. You want to see that product on the field, but I do not think it's going to happen, Bud, man. Malik Neighbors did say after the game that he was chasing that all-time receiving record. He wanted to play in the bowl, but I think some calmer heads will get into his ear and say, look, you have a lot of money to make real soon. Let's go work on that combine. Run the 40, start working out, do the whole deal. I don't think Thomas or Neighbors come back. They go with Daniels. Would be outstanding if somehow Daniels and one of his receivers got on the same team, like a Burrow and Chase, but I don't think any three of those guys, Thomas, Neighbors, or Daniels, gets outside the first round.
LSU has a lot of wide receivers, obviously, that have been waiting their turn. Got to get better usage out of the tight end. I'm a little disappointed they didn't get much out of Mason Taylor this year. And by the way, I don't know if you've seen this Trey'Dez Green. He is a guy that is probably going to be a big wide receiver or a tight end. Pimpton, so they're going to have some talent there. Nuss, there are rumors and innuendos. They could bring in a transfer portal quarterback just for depth purposes. And as we know, this bowl game, you want to get to 10. It keeps the fans feeling good. That being said, in answer to your question, I think this next recruiting cycle, oh, by the way, a week from yesterday, the transfer portal opens. These kids don't care. Everybody's even going to Twitter and every other social media site saying they get in the portal. But it actually opens next Monday, and we'll see what kind of attrition. Armani Goodwin, the running back who did not play this year, a little bitty guy, kind of a poor man's Clyde Edwards-Helaire, been injured the whole time. He did put his name in the portal. I think LSU will have more defections, but JP, got to get some big defensive studs in here.
We'll let you guys hear from the head coach. Here's Brian Kelly, his post-game press conference this past Saturday against Texas A&M. Here is head coach Brian Kelly.
Well, great way to finish the regular season, and I know you already know this, but 7-0 at home. We're really proud of that accomplishment. That was something that we talked about. Winning at home in Tiger Stadium is important to us. I think 13-1 over the last 2 years at home. That is something that we talk about and playing well at home. And I thought our guys, we said this on a number of occasions, and especially on the defensive side of the ball, we're not perfect. We have to grind, but I'm proud of their resolve. And I think that showed, especially in the second half. I think, they were 2 of 9 in the second half and third down conversions. We couldn't stop them. We couldn't get off the field in the first half. In the second half, they really made some plays. We got the pick, which was huge, converted that offensively. And then our playmakers made plays. Big-time players make big-time plays in games like this. And you saw Neighbors and Thomas and obviously Daniels with the 4 touchdowns against, I would consider, the best defense that we've played all year. Just another incredible performance. So really proud of our coaches, really proud of our football team to come back and get a victory and get 9 wins and have a chance for 10 again. Was an important milestone for us. So with that, we'll open up to questions.
It's that fourth quarter. You said big-time players, but crunch time, I think Jaden goes for 100 yards passing in that one. He had barely over 100 throughout the entire game. What did you see in that sense of urgency?
Well, again, I think we made some plays defensively that I thought got some momentum, and then, quite frankly, I thought our offensive line kind of, stood tall, protected, and we won some one-on-one matchups. Became a little bit more predictable in terms of what was going to happen out there. They had tried some different things, obviously, with dropping 8, and he hurt them running the football. And then the pressures, we were able to, start to pick up the pressures and then get the one-on-one matchups. And again, you may get Jaden for a little bit, but you just can't keep him down.
On the fourth down call, it looked like you thought about it for about less than a second. What was your thinking there? And at that point in the game, did you feel like that was necessary at that point?
I felt it was necessary at that point, that we needed to convert in that situation. And I was trying to get the attention of the offense, but our special teams coach was halfway on the field, so I had to get him off the field because there was no way in that situation we were going to give the football up.
Coach, right here, maybe around the country, teams are going to see and fans are going to see the explosiveness of your offense, but what kind of pride do you and the rest of the staff take in being able to kind of grind out drives late in the game to ice games?
Well, look, I mean, the explosiveness is in the numbers, right? If you do the research, and many have already done the research in terms of big plays, 20 yards or more, they're out there. But to win games, you still have to control the football, and they did a great job today. Hats off to Elijah and his staff coming in here and having his football team ready to play, and controlling the clock was their best chance today, and they did a terrific job. But when it counted most late in the game, we were able to do that offensively and grind some clock and shorten the game in the fourth quarter when we got the lead.
Brian, when it comes to third down, I think A&M was 0 for its last 5. Was there a specific adjustment y'all made, maybe with Harold in particular, or something else that maybe attributed to that?
Yeah, so we were getting overloaded in zones with their passing game. In particular into the short field, they were running vertical switch routes and then bringing a drive route back that we just couldn't match in our zone, and it was difficult in man coverage. So we went to a spy technique with Harold, and then we went to an old-fashioned 2-trail coverage where we just ran cover 2 behind it, and we just ran trail technique underneath. So we got underneath all of the receivers because they were, as you know, a lot of spot routes, a lot of curls, a lot of drive routes that we just couldn't match. And that we got 3 consecutive stops being in trail coverage. We hadn't run it all year. We kind of had to make that adjustment at halftime. We talked to the kids about what we needed them to do, and to their credit, they went out and executed it.
Coach, last year, Malik Neighbors didn't get off to the best start with those 2 missed punt returns. This year, he sets the record for LSU with receptions. Talk about his growth from last year to this year and see how much work he put in behind the scenes.
Yeah, and again, it's the natural progression within this program that players are going to develop, and that when when it's time, for them to move to that next level, whether it's their sophomore year, junior year, senior year, you're going to see player development here. That's why I love coaching. That's why I'm in this business, because we're going to develop our players. And so he's part of a program where you're going to see player development. Our players are going to have their best year in their later years as they develop. We played a lot of freshmen this year, and there was some growing pains, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But they're going to be better for it next year, and we're going to see that tangibly in the way they play.
Coach, not to jump too far ahead, but as Major Burns came off the field, you could see him taking extra time looking at the crowd before he walked through the tunnel. Malik had tears in his eyes. You gave Brian Harris Jr. a huge hug there at the end near the goal line. What kind of conversations do you have now with these guys in terms of the bowl game coming up, with players now decide not to play in bowl games to get ready for the NFL? Do you see any of that possibility for the Tigers?
Yeah, I'm sure some of them, will have to make some decisions as to whether they think it's in their best interest moving forward, whether they, stay or go. We've had preliminary conversations with all of our players relative to staying for another year, leaving for the NFL, playing in the game. So we've got a pretty good sense of, where our guys are at. And, for us, it's about information. It's about making sure they make the best decision for themselves and for their future. So we're going to be in good shape no matter what happens, regardless of who the player is. So again, I think we've done a pretty good job. We'll do some more meetings this week. We'll have exit interviews with all of our players, and then probably have even a stronger feeling about where our players are at relative to the next step.
Yeah, Brian, what do you think that the Heisman voters will take away from the final impression of Jaden today? What did you think they would take away?
Well, I arguably would say that this, first of all, it's a top 10 defense in the country. I think their defensive line is outstanding, and he had 4 touchdown passes. You throw for 4 touchdown passes against a defense, you put up 42 points. It sure as heck can't hurt you. And then obviously running the way he did, I just think he just strengthened his case for the Heisman.
And that was head coach Brian Kelly talking about his quarterback, his time here at LSU, and a whole lot more. Well, we appreciate you tuning into this episode of Tigers Roar. Let's take a quick break. We have a very special segment, That Kid Jaden Part 1. It was released last night. We'll let you guys view it. Quick break. Come back and watch the Tigers Roar right here on Pelican Sports TV.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Now's the best time to experience Mazda during the season of inspiration at Team Mazda. For a limited time, make no payments for 90 days on your new Mazda. That's right, shop now, choose your new Mazda, and make no payments for 90 days at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi gang, Clarence Buggs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Buggs Show.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club. a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonCountryClub.com.
Then we continue for our last segment here on Tigers Roar. Short on time, so we'll jump right into it. There's a very special segment, That Kid Jaden. It was produced by LSU Football, released last night on YouTube. Here's part one. That Kid Jaden right here on Tigers Roar.
There was a question today that was so important, I felt like we needed to get to it right here. What are your thoughts on Arizona State QB Jaden Daniels entering the transfer portal? How could you possibly know what this kid's capable of?
Daniels, 5, leaping. Daniels finds one of them. He's going to run. He got it. He's got room.
There is a video that has been publicized from some of the players in the Arizona State locker room who have taken it upon themselves to clean out Jaden Daniels' locker. They didn't seem very somber in nature as they cleaned his locker out. If this guy lands in the right spot, he will explode this upcoming year. For those of you who weren't aware of this, yes, Jaden Daniels, that high-profile transfer, has officially portaled to LSU.
My name is Jaden Daniels. I play quarterback and I'm from San Bernardino, California. After leaving my last school where I was a starter, obviously come here and hopefully to start and, compete at the highest level, compete for national championships. What I'm looking for most with this team is just to see how far we come from when I first got here to now, just the camaraderie and the chemistry that we built over time.
Perfect, and I'm gonna read you one more thing so you can just look at the camera and kind of, like you see on TV. Like, so you do it.
Are we good?
3, 2.
That kid Jaden. What led me to leave Arizona State was just a lot of uncertainty, within the program. And for me, I kind of needed to step out of my comfort zone, and really just go out there and try something new. And then LSU had presented me the opportunity to come here and just compete, honestly. You come to LSU, you get to play on the biggest stage against the best competition. So that was the biggest thing for me.
I mean, coming to LSU, there were other opportunities for him. He came here with no promises and with an opportunity to compete. And he challenged himself that way.
I was stepping into a new journey, a new adventure for me. So, they're mad for whatever reason that I wanted to be better for myself. But I knew the real was supporting me back over there.
Anybody gets affected by negative comments, but I think he's got a really strong ability to focus on the task at hand, what's right in front of him.
He was so focused on starting new and really developing his own new start here.
When I was named the starter, it was kind of like just a joy and, kind of just that relief knowing that I can come here and no matter what in my life, I'm going to be able to compete. And then at the end of the day, if I bet on myself, the odds are good.
I mean, I think in the middle of fall camp, it began to kind of show itself. He was making steady progress, and I think a lot of it came with just him understanding what we were wanting from him and what we as a football team really needed from him. And I think once he got comfortable with what was required, it was pretty clear pretty early that that was the direction we needed to go.
I don't know that there was ever a clear-cut separation as much as that we knew that he could do more things for our offense, and we knew that he could make more plays for us with his feet.
You know, it was a lot of ups and downs throughout the season early on. And then, I mean, Florida State was all everybody's first game together. So it's kind of like, you know, we're still trying to figure each other out. The captains last year, we all had just a team meeting, like how do we want our season to be. After that captains meeting, everybody, I would say, bought into what Coach Kelly was talking about fully. Everybody just bought in, you know, started doing the little things right, and then we started seeing results on the field. Kind of just that Florida game, kind of what set me on this path. At that point, I was like, okay, I'm here now, and I'm supposed to be here.
All of a sudden we go to the Swamp, and just the way that he performed that night, I think that for me was a pivotal moment for him.
Daniels going to pull, trying to get out to the right edge, breaks one tackle, leaps into the end zone, touchdown, Fighting Tigers. Thomas goes up, pulls it out of the air, Brian Thomas Jr. He's going to run out to his left, got to get to the corner, to the 5, to the 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown, Fighting Tigers.
Just stay on top.
Yes, sir.
Trust the speed, man. He's a great competitor. As you can see, the way he plays the game, he's fearless. And when you do that, you can really enjoy being out there and competing at the highest level.
To bounce back and go out there and put on a show at Florida, I think that's that inner confidence of knowing who you are and not letting one day or one moment define you and you defining it.
I think people sometimes look at his demeanor as being kind of cool, calm, and collected, and I don't think they understand the fire that's inside that young man. And there's a fire that burns there that maybe people don't always see because his demeanor is kind of a little bit more cool, but he is a competitor and he loves to win. That kid is an ultimate competitor.
Bounces off a defender into the end zone. He's going to keep left side into the end zone. Touchdown, Fighting Tigers. Gets it near side. Mason Taylor, touchdown. Daniels going to keep trying to get to the edge. Gets by one defender. 10-5, touchdown, Fighting Tigers. Jaden Daniels, 25-yard run. Snap to Daniels. Sprint out. Throw to the right. Caught. Right corner of the end zone. Mason Taylor. Tigers win. Tigers win. And the fans storm the field.
It was kind of like an uphill battle, you know, 50-50. And I wanted to lead. I want to come back. I mean, the moment I told them I was coming back, for me, I just wanted to put myself in the best position for my future. And one morning I just woke up, was like, you know, I'm going to just come back and I got more stuff to prove.
You know, the funny thing about Jaden is he always takes the tough road. He had some ups and downs, you know, just like anybody would, and we probably did as an offense and as a team early in the year last year. But I thought he fought through those, and that resilience ultimately just continued to show up day in and day out.
Jaden Daniels comes over from Arizona State, has been a perfect fit for this offense.
And that was a very special piece. That kid, Jaden, there'll be more pieces to come just like that. So check out YouTube, LSU Tigers on YouTube. The glass is on, so we're talking about the Saints, bud, man. I'll take over first. The Saints are horrible. It's time to blow it up, start over. Lose the quarterback, fire the coach, fire the offensive coordinator. They can't score a touchdown. 7 red zone trips. Only touchdown Derek Carr threw was to the defense. It's time to blow it up, Mickey. You might be next. You might be out of here. Bud, man, anything?
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We love y'all. Appreciate you following us everywhere. And we'll do it again next Tuesday right here at Old School Barbecue.